Well, it's a much different scene outside this evening versus last evening. Last evening at this time, much of southwest Missouri blanketed by rain. Tonight, we find the rain over southeast Missouri and northeast Arkansas. Just a few spotty lingering showers over parts of Howell County, Oregon County, Fulton County. We even have one isolated shower east of Ava dropping off to the south-southeast. That's the way it's going to go overnight tonight. Anything that we see, I think, tonight or tomorrow is going to tend to be along and south of the interstate, and it's going to tend to be isolated in nature. That wasn't the way it was last night. We had rain which faded to the southwest late last evening, and then we saw more rain develop here near the I-44 corridor early this morning. That persisted through much of the morning hours before it faded, and it dropped some heavy rainfall in places. This is rainfall since midnight, and you can see that there were certainly some pockets west and north of Springfield where we saw very heavy rainfall. Here in Springfield, just over half an inch officially out at the airport, but looking at some of the totals since last evening, you can see Springfield officially 3/4 of an inch. But again, that's out at the airport. Across town, most locations picked up between 1 and 2 inches, and there were areas on the southeast side of town out toward Highland Springs and also over toward Republic which picked up over 2 inches. In fact, Republic saw about 2.5 inches. Stockton, Missouri, about 2.5 inches. 2 1/3 inches in Branson. But remember, I showed you that bullseye of heavy rainfall to our northwest. Dunnigan picking up well over 4 inches of rainfall. And I tell you, it's really been amazing the turnaround that we've seen here in the last couple of weeks. Things greening up thanks to waves of rainfall, some of which has been heavy. The first month and a half of the summer season in Springfield, we saw just over 2 inches. Over the last 2 weeks, we've seen well over 3 inches. West Plains is another, I think, big story in that regard. 1.5 inches over the first month and a half of this summer, very dry. And then here over the last couple of weeks, we're closing in on 5 inches of rainfall. And yes, as you drive around the Ozarks, what you find is that things are greening back up. The recent wave of rain, thanks to this slow-moving cool front, which is dropping off to the south. And behind that front, we have drier air, not only higher up in the atmosphere, but also near the surface. So we're going to be knocking out some of this mugginess once we get into Wednesday afternoon. Our forecast looking like this overnight tonight. I think we're going to find partly cloudy skies. The clouds may fill in toward morning, and we may also find some patchy areas of dense fog. As we work through the morning hours on Wednesday, the clouds will thin out. It looks like a mostly sunny day developing, especially along and north of the interstate. If we see any isolated showers popping up, they're going to tend to be off to the southeast, generally along and south of Highway 60 as we slip into late afternoon on Wednesday. And then overnight Wednesday night, skies will become mostly clear across just about all of the area. And then for Thursday, we'll find generally sunny conditions and low humidity, and that's going to make for a very pleasant start to the day on Thursday. Temperatures tonight dropping off to about 69 for low. Highs tomorrow, I think they're going to stay below 90 for the second day in a row, at least in most locations. 88 degrees in Springfield for the high. On Thursday, I think we're up around 90 for the high. Looking at our pattern again, the rain shutting down as this drier air builds in behind this front. And temperatures relatively nice, at least for the next couple of days. But the heat will be building. Summer Ridge, which has been forced off to the west, will build back into the middle of the country. And that's going to lead to some scorching heat as we get into this upcoming weekend. Temperatures climbing day by day. In fact, we go from highs in the low 90s on Friday, low to mid 90s on Saturday, and then mid 90s on Sunday. And Monday, it looks like we're in the upper 90s for highs. I think also it's going to generally be dry through the weekend. We'll start throwing in a chance for isolated showers across the area on Monday. I do think that we'll see a uptick in rain chances again Monday night into Tuesday as the next cool front moves into the area.
I like the sound of another cool front.
Yeah, it makes, these little bursts of heat, it makes it a lot easier to take when you know that there's some nicer weather on the other side of it.
Yes.
Yeah, we can get a break, we can recuperate for another run. Hopefully we don't have too many more runs left as we wind down the summer soon enough.
Yeah, here we are, second week of August, and it seems like the month is going by very quickly.
Like we have 1 month left, almost, because September is basically fall.
Can be warm, yeah.
Yes. All right, thanks, Jamie. Well, at least